Hi friends, Miss Art Garden here, and today I'm going to do the Every Color Challenge, which is a challenge in which you make some kind of artwork and you include every color. I was thinking of trying to do a portrait and just have it be unconventional coloring of the portrait, and maybe we'll have some splashes here and there. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I'm using this as my reference that I got from Pexels.com. It's like a website, like free to use artwork, and I've been giving this some thought, and I think one way to go about this, if you do a portrait, there's a lot of blending, and if you have a lot of colors, I imagine it's going to be a little bit of a muddled mess. So I think I'm going to concentrate on making this very textured. So the first thing I'm going to do is make a couple brushes. So that'll be one brush, second brush, third brush. Okay, we'll see how far we get with these brushes. Back to this document, I'm going to take my hard round brush and we're just going to sketch something out. Okay, I'm gonna go with these settings. I tweaked this brush just a bit. I'm actually gonna save it as a new brush preset. But yeah, I just messed around with scattering, pin pressure, direction, size jitter bit, just in case you wanted to know a little spacing, so that I have the kind of this texture now. So that'll be my initial one. I'm also going to change my background color to sort of a neutral gray so that the whites show and the blacks show pretty good. And then I have this color layer that I'm going to paint on, and I guess I'll just go ahead and get started putting in some base. So I was thinking I might be a little bit monochromatic to begin with and just pretty much kind of stick to blues and maybe some purples and stuff, just to get a constant foundation where I can see what the shadows are going to be, and then add some of the coloring later. I don't really like that blue though. That looks great. Okay, so I'll put this in for her face. I could do something else for her hair. We'll see. But I'm not gonna be worried about it being clean or precise or anything like that. I'm just gonna texture it in and make it look nice and fancy. And then for my eraser, I think I might have it on 0 hardness. We'll move it up a little bit. Okay, base of her face done. I will put in some for her hair. Let's make her hair like a pinkish purple, so it deviates a little bit from the color, but it's still within like that cool range that I can mess with later. So right now, I think if you took all the saturation out, it should be about the same, but it's gonna be different colors. So I'll be able to manage like how I see shadows and stuff better. I don't know, I'm making this up, but I'm just trying to explain my thinking and my process and stuff. So yeah, we'll have that for her hair. Okay, so we got our blue Smurf lady with purple hair and I'm gonna start adding shadows, and so I'm just gonna put some shadows in. I'll make my brush a little bit less opacity and just start kind of putting them in where I think they need to go in. I'm actually gonna turn my sketch down too so I can see a little better what I'm doing. Oh, I don't want to work on the sketch layer though. There we go. So there'll be a lot of shadow under her here. I should just I think I'm gonna make a clipping mask so I don't have to be so careful, and I can just blah right in there. Get some behind the ear area down here, and then some back here. Just put some texture in there. Let's get some color, the hair down here mixing in. So I think what will be most fun about this is when we start mixing, hopefully when we start mixing some of the like more warm colors, vibrant colors like blue and purple, and pretty much the things on the blue side are often thought of as cool colors, and then the warm colors would be like more on the yellow side and a little bit on the red side, but it just kind of also depends on the shading and all of that. Speaking of shading, let's get that ear in. I want a little darker blue. Get that ear. I think the ear will be the darkest part according to the little reference thing I have. This is pretty dark. Under her nose, just right here, is really dark. Some seams of her lips, a little bit dark in the corner there. Ooh, my tea's ready. I'll be right back. Okay, I've got my tea. I overpoured it because I could never tell. The steam gets in the way. Just me? Is it just me that does that? Probably. I'm terrible. I'm just gonna keep going here with my shading and stuff and just kind of keep blocking in. I want these dark shades under her hair. Let's throw some up there. Just kind of get them placed a little bit, and some down around here. Like so. That'll be good. Maybe a dark one here we'll sort of mix in later. Say mix because I'm still not sure I'm gonna do blending. What does this look like without the sketch? I think it's good enough to go without the sketch. Let's do a little bit of hair stuff so we don't get confused on it later. And I'll make her hair be a little more pinkish. So we want this to be highlighted, this to be highlighted. Over here maybe a little bit. One goes down here. A bunch back here. Yeah, we want that. That'll be like a little bright stuff here and here. And then we'll go to a darker shade. So like under the bun here, there'll be lots of shadows. Come up here and we'll establish some down here. And maybe like at the side of her head, might be catching a lot of shadows there. And a little bit under here and some shadows down here too, where the light is betraying her. Ah, there we go. Maybe even some darker, even darker. And I was gonna say there and then I was like, I say both those too much. Go under this layer and get that filled in since we missed those spots. There we go. Okay, so without the sketch now, I think we can kind of see what's going on. I'm gonna slurp some of my overfilled tea so then I don't have to worry about shaking the table and spilling it. Like when I'm laughing. Ha ha ha. Okay, so let's introduce some new colors in here. Some like blue greens. We won't vary too much from that, but at the same time we'll be getting some in. Let's just see how this looks. So kind of rework some shadow areas here, like under her nose might have some. Her nose has a dark shadow here. I actually want that blue though. So we'll just plop it in there. And the green maybe will be up here a little bit. Oh, she has an eyebrow. I'll get to that in a sec. A little bit of green here. A little splash over here. And some on her ear. Like that. And then I guess so we have it all over. We'll just randomly throw some down there. Yeah, that looks good. Get a little green in with that blue. And I think I'm gonna blow this up and refine some of her features. Actually, I'm gonna merge these. Command E, Command J, hold down the Option key, all that Photoshop madness. And I'm gonna go to this layer actually. Erase some this down here, and down here we'll get this a little bit more shaped up and we'll just detail it in a bit. Maybe I will switch to one of my other brushes for this. Like this textured one here. So I'm gonna do my usual little madness where I mess with it a bit until I'm happy with it. And I'll meet you back here when I'm done. Okay, so now we have this brush. It's a little bit different. Just add a little bit of texture. We're gonna start with really small stuff though, so it won't really show too much to begin with. This nose shape is a bit off, so we're gonna have to work on it. And then we want the shadow under there, green in there. I'm gonna cheat with a little black, even though you're not really supposed to use a lot of black. And then under here, we'll see a little green, I guess. And let's got some yellow in here for a highlight. I'm gonna do a few little highlight areas. Yeah, I think that yellow will work. These are kind of like strange, like literal things for like the highlight. Plop that in there. I'm not really sure I'm gonna blend this all in together, but I am having fun just placing down a bunch of different colors. So there'll be a little bit of cheek there, a little bit down here, a little bit here, and on her cheek up here. Maybe a little bit down here by her jaw. I don't know. I feel like it's good until I have to figure out final stages on how to like bring it all together. That's gonna be interesting. We shall find out together if I can pull it off. Okay. A little bit here too. A little bit at the corner of her mouth. Just keep going. Let's make her lips. What color? I think red. Maybe like an orange red. A little traditional piece of her. Maybe purple. No, I think red. I think red. Let's get these shaped in a little bit better. I want this blue for the corner here. It's going down a bit here. And then the red will come down like that. Okay. And a little bit of black there. Yeah, and we'll shape this shadow in a bit more precisely. And I think it'll come up a little bit like that and then go down, and there'll be a little bit more shadow just in this area here. And then the highlight might be bringing it over here, and this will break into that highlight. What do you think? Am I pulling it off yet? No? Get a little highlight here, up to here. And let's get some eyelashes in to help distinguish where her eye is. I'm gonna bring this over like that. Yeah, and then her eyelashes will be a little bit like this. I'm just gonna tack them in for now. The shadow on her eyes will have a little bit of highlight though here. That goes across like that. We need to establish a shadow between the highlight of her eye and the highlight of the bridge of her nose though, to show that it's a little sunken in. So let me just kind of place that in. I might need to move her eye down just a touch. Let's do that. Let's do it. So Duplicating mask trick. Feathering 15 pixels and voila. Like it was never up there. How much? A little bit more? Alright. And we'll do a little touch up here. So we have this darker shadow area here, like that, and then the highlighted area here. And then the shaping. Oops, I'm on the wrong layer for the shaping. Then we go to the bottom layer for the shaping. And this is gonna go back, but I think I'll just leave it because her hair is gonna fall over there eventually. So we'll leave it for now. I'll get rid of this eyelash. It's there. You're not welcome here anymore, eyelash. Under her eye will be a little bit of shadow. So we'll throw that in like that. And then her eye will go out a little bit more than it currently is. There we go. Let's throw in an eyebrow. Let's just make a hair layer. Hair. Throw in an eyebrow with this color. Yeah, I'll just throw it in a little bit like that. Just kind of messily put it in. A little bit of texture. She looks really weird with this yellow. I need to incorporate it. Let's see if we can throw some oranges in by the yellows. See what that will do. So we have her, where do we have some highlight blends? We could have some in here. We have a little bit on her cheek here in this area. I don't think this orange is coming across very well. Yeah, a little bit more like that. I like this shadow area of hers is getting totally mixed. See, the more I mix it, the more muddled it becomes. But I suppose the beauty of Photoshop is I can just keep going back over it. So like maybe this shadow needs to just be lighter, like a lighter green. When it comes in like that, yeah, we can keep adding a little bit of orange though. We'll just put a little here, put a little up here, throw it in. I don't know what I'm doing. Hold it down here. What color haven't we covered? I think we've kind of covered them all at this point, so just go back into repeats. Let's bring some red into her hair. Did I just do all that on her hair layer? I sure did. That's okay, I can fix this. I don't want all this on her hair layer, so we're gonna select everything that isn't the hair. And that's no longer the hair now. Okay. Command, let's feather it just in case we messed it up. Feather it. Command, go to the hair layer. Command X. It's like it was never there. Command Shift V. And we merged it. Look, no one ever knew. I put it on the wrong layer now. Yeah, we're gonna put some red in her hair. And on her hair layer, I'm gonna start putting these little webby things in. Whoops. Let's pick up a purple while we do this too, so we can get the purple and the red. So her hair and the reference is just sort of going all over the place. So we're gonna do that too. Like there's a strand that goes here, a strand that goes all the way over her face. Whoops. Let's pick up this darker purple. Over her ear. With hair, I find it's kind of like a triangular thing. You want to always have it come to the peak. So it's better to like bring it up from the bottom, if that makes sense. That's just my view though. Okay, so a little bit of red here. Let's have a few of these be red. Establish that. This is like, what's that called? Psychedelic art, where they made it like a bunch of weird colors and stuff. I want to bring a little blue into her hair too, or maybe like a light green. Just kinda put some in here. It is interesting working with lots of colors. Do you like it? I like it. I'm gonna have to think. I might take a little break here in a sec. Think about how I want to do the finishing up of this. Let's get that. Oh, I lost my red. Get a new red. Doesn't matter. But, yeah, I might have to think how I'm going to do these finishing touches on her. Put a little down here. Okay. Okie dokie. I think I'm gonna go back and work on sort of finalizing some more. Including like get rid of this, there needs to be like a shadow here. Like right here in this triangular shape. Yeah, so I'm just gonna overlay it. I'm less worried now about the colors blending because I think as long as I don't go to a smooth brush, it'll always just kind of look textured, which is good. That's what I like. So I'll just keep on with that. I want some dark shadows here. Let's pick a purple and throw some purple on her face. Just a little bit here. Maybe a little under her eyes a little bit. Just kind of incorporate. It's the every color challenge, and right now very predominantly blue. So yeah, I'll throw a little purple there. Let's get an orange, another orange. One thing I'm trying to do is keep the colors kind of vibrant as I put them down so they really stick out. So I'll keep a little bit of orange, put a little bit above her eyebrow, on the tip of the nose, highlight there, and goes up here, and then kind of goes over, and we can shape it a little bit there like that. I want some shadow here. We don't really have any red on her face. What would red look like? Let's get an actual red. Let's make it kind of dark. What would red look like? I think it's a little muddy. That's my worry. We'll throw a few in certain spots, like under her eye. There's gonna be some darker shadowing there. Maybe a little bit here, like where the eye gets a little bit shadowed there. I'm worried about putting any near her lipstick. Let's bring this out and work on the ear. Make the ear a little bit red. I think the ear is a little too far down. Maybe I'll just work on it a bit. Let me get rid of this hair layer just while I work on getting this ear a little more shaped up. Yeah, so we'll just get some highlights here. This is mostly going to be covered by her hair, but it doesn't hurt to detail it a little bit. Highlight here, and then we're gonna take that black that we're never supposed to use. I had an art teacher who said you should never use black when painting. And I understand like the logic. I think the idea is that if you get too reliant on black, it doesn't look very good. The shadows, I don't know, they're like muted in a weird way. But I do think you need a little bit for contrast. Let's get that red color back now. Plop that in a bit here, this area by here. Yeah. That's good. Just get a little bit of red under her ear as well here. Then we can take this dark purple and separate it out, and we can smooth that shape out a bit. Let's put her hair layer back on, and let's add some orange to her hair. Let's give it a little bit of a red orange. And I'm going to actually add this in big chunks. So a little bit here, a little bit up here, and then a little bit back there. Well, I guess we should add some on her bun. I want her bun to look nice. Let's go up to the hair layer itself. Shrink this down, make this a little brighter or lighter colored, and add a few little streaks. I'm going to get some of these streaks going in the hair, even though it's going to be, I don't want to go like super crazy where there's just literally only streaks. I do think there's some nice grouping of streaks that'll look, I mean, I think it'll look nice with some grouping of streaks though. Yeah, a little bit here, highlight out like that. One down here where that purple's going. And let's get some dark green. That seems to be a color we haven't really used. And we're gonna use that for like the, I guess like shadowed areas. Make it real small, have it fall to her face even. I might come over and overlay some things on here. A little bit there, have a lash go out there. Let's do some back here, get a couple there and there. Have like a little bit sticking up there. Having the bun have some streaks go out like that. Okay, and then the light green. I don't think we have a lot represented, so we'll get some of that. Oh, that is terrible. Let's get it a little more vibrant. There we go. Get a few little streaks here because I had like a lot over here, so I want to, I guess, resonate it a little bit in certain places. And over here where this big orange spot is, I think would be a great place to have a little flash of green. Yeah, so we don't really have any blue in our hair, but I think that's okay because we have a little bit. We have so much blue on her face that I'm still a little bit worried about. Get some of these greens here. I want some vibrant purples, but I want them to be dark to work in spaces there. That's a little too dark, I think. Yeah, so there's like sort of a shadow area there, and we can even make it sort of like a band almost. And then we can have the green coming in here where she might have a little bit of highlights and a little bit of green here. We tried that with the orange earlier, but I think the orange was just too much for that spot. I want some orange here. This is all pretty dark, and then she has this very bright spot here. So let's pick that orange color, add a little bit more here. We had some there, and then we'll have just a little bit, oops, a little bit coming, maybe peeking out here. Yeah, that looks terrible. I'm gonna change my mind. Put it here in this little corner there. Put some by this yellow here, maybe a little bit by this yellow here, and let's get that purple for a few more of those spots where we want to integrate the shadows with the highlights a little better. So like there's good. Under here we want a little bit. Let's have a little streaky thing here. Am I doing this on the hair layer again? Why do I always do this to myself? I'm just gonna erase some of this and redo that part here. That's okay. We'll leave the rest. I'm not that bothered. So we want this to be kind of a shadowed area there. And going up to her ear back here, we want this to be shadowed. All right. And this mucky looking area here, we'll add the purple to. Give that a little bit there. Okay, so we've lost a lot of yellow on the nose. I think we could do with a little more. We had this bit here. And right here, we can add that back in. It's a little brighter. Little corner area here with some yellow. And then this right here. Oh, just this area. Then we can add a little bit more down there. Maybe that kind of muddled it. That's okay. I'm gonna take that blue and just sort of work it. Oops, work it a little bit more like that. Yellow, purple, just kind of mix it in, that orange there. I'm not crazy about this cheek. I think it's just all too much. So I'm gonna take this purple, do this. It's purple, and then I'm gonna take a blue, so we've lost a lot of our blue, and apply it a little subtly down here. And yeah, that's probably better. Give her lip a little highlight with that pink color. Yeah, we don't have a lot of pink. This pink will be good. And a little bit here too. Okay, I'm gonna do a check real quick where I check the saturation. I mean the values. I think we could push it a little bit more, especially in these areas here. So I'm gonna get a little bit of black going here. This area down here, I'm gonna make like a dark red. And maybe not quite that dark. Area under her nose, I'll give a little bit. Her eyes here and under her hair. I'll throw in a little bit there. I'm gonna work on her hair still a little bit, but I wanted to get all this going like around her ear here. Let's get that kind of established as a dark red, and then back here under her hair. And just a little touch here mixing in with that. Or it'd be the darkest. Okay, looks good. Let's add a little tiny highlight of yellow here, except I don't want that to be like a pea green. I want it to be a nice yellow right there with like a swoosh over it so it blends a little better. A couple swooshes, there we go. A little bit of swooshing action where that ear is. Let's get a light green to work here. Actually, I don't want quite that light green. Is this maybe like this color green? Kind of blend it in. Is this hair? Yeah, this is I'll erase this where the hair layer is without erasing the hair, just so I have a little better control over the coloring there. There we go. That's a bit better. We don't have any green down here, so while we're at it, let's add some. A little bit down there. She looks a bit like a kid with Crayola. It's okay. Every color, but it all seems so muted. Okay, let's go up to the hair and add some finishing touches here. So we have a lot of purple. Let's go back with a dark purple and throw in some shadow areas. So definitely under her bun, and in this area here, we're gonna reestablish the shadow, and then in here we'll pretend that that's like a core or something. We'll throw a few little things out. I did not use very many of my brushes. I made a bunch and then I was just like, yeah, these two. Speaking of which, I'm gonna save this brush preset before I lose it. And then I'm gonna go back to that other brush I was using, since there's a lot of sameness here. I want some purple here and here. And I think that's all a little bit too much actually, so let's take this medium blue and rework over some areas so there's just not so much down there. That's it just kind of starts to clash a bit. We'll add a little bit of orange or something down there so that we don't lose it all, but it just kind of minimizes how much stuff was there. And a little bit on her back here. Oh, am I still always doing this on the hair? Why? That's okay. I'm just gonna erase some of that. Go to this layer, add that, we'll just add this purple in, and then that a little bit of orange over that green area, and a little bit here where her neck might be catching a little light, and then a little bit, and this just became the orange hour. I can't make up my mind. Okay, so now what I want to do is a little bit of Photoshop trickery. I'm going to kind of save the layer by making another duplicate. I'm going to go into color dodge. I'm going to turn my opacity down a bit and turn my size up a bit. We're going to pick sort of a yellow. We're just going to kind of go over some areas. So that's before and after. I'm just going to brighten up some faces on her. Then we'll go to overlay. A little bit like under her hair, under her neck. Okay, so that was before and that's after. It just sort of adds a shine, maybe. In my head it does. And we'll do the same with the hair. I'll make a duplicate layer with the color dodge. We'll go in and we'll add sort of a highlighted streak and just make the brush a little smaller as we do that. And we'll do a little bit of a highlighted streak up here too, just like that. And then we'll go in with the shadow color and work on that. I'm actually going to choose black. Overlay. Wrong setting. I'm going to choose black for this because I think overlay doesn't wash out the colors when you use black. Depending, you have to be a little careful. Turn our opacity up a bit. I really want this area to be darker too. Alright, what do you guys think? Going with white and add a few little spots like in the highlighted areas where we can maybe see a few of these little dots. And then on the cheek, oops, I'm doing this little butcher job, but I think it looks okay. Yeah, we'll do some down here with the black too back here, so that'll just bring it in. There's a few little dots that way. on her face. I don't know about the hair. We could put some underneath that layer so it's just barely showing through maybe. But yeah, I think I'll call it there. So that is the every color challenge. I did have kind of fun with this. It's a little bit like being a kid and just picking every color out of the box. Hopefully I stuck with the challenge good enough, and I really do think I used every color. Anyways, if you do this challenge, link me your results. I'd love to see them. I'll share it on my Twitter or something. So thank you. I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care, and I will see you on the next video.